Apkallu, the 7 children of Anunnaki who taught the secrets of universe to humans. The Apkallu were the 7 sages of ancient Mesopotamian religion who revealed divine knowledge to humans. They were demigods whose wisdom was on par with the god of wisdom, Enki himself, their creator. The concept of 7 sages can be seen in many mythologies and folktales around the world. The most popular among them would be the Indian Saptarishis. They were the 7 sages who were well versed in the Vedas and Puranas. Unlike the Mesopotamian and Indian versions, the Greek version of the 7 sages did not possess any divine qualities, nor did they have anything to do with mystical stuff. Rather, they were the 7 great philosophers who laid the foundation of Greek philosophy by passing down their knowledge to others. The Akkadian term Apkallu was derived from the Sumerian term Abgal. Apkallu can be translated into English as the wise, sage, or expert. But the term also served as an epithet for the gods and was also used to refer to human priests and exorcists. After the creation of humans, the gods closely monitored them to check on their progress. When Enki, the god of wisdom, saw that the humans were so barbaric and rarely made any progress, he created the 7 demigods or sages known as the Apkallu to reveal divine knowledge and guide the humans toward civilization. Looking like half-human and half-fish hybrid beings, they emerged out of the sea and started living with the humans, teaching them how to cultivate the soil, how to become cultured and civilized, and how to properly pray to the gods and offer sacrifices. They also taught them many arts and skills which were necessary for the upliftment of human society. Sounds just like the plot of Eternals, right? The Apkallu appear in many Mesopotamian reliefs and art in 3 forms: bird-headed, human-headed, or dressed in fish-skin cloaks. The 7 sages are as follows: Wana or Oannes, who finished the plans for heaven and earth; Wanaduga, who was endowed with comprehensive intelligence; and Meduga, who was allotted a good fate; and Megalama, who was born in a house; and Mebeluga, who grew up on pasture land; and Enlilda, the conjurer of the city of Eridu; Utuabzu, who ascended to heaven. These 7 sages acted as the counselors to various kings before the Great Flood. The first sage, Uana, is sometimes identified with the mythological figure Adapa, who is mentioned in the Uruk kings list. Berosus, a Babylonian scholar who lived in the 3rd century BC during the Hellenistic era, greatly describes the first sage Uana in his work, The Babylonian History. In the first year there made its appearance, from a part of the Erythraean Sea which bordered upon Babylonia, an animal endowed with reason, who was called Oannes. The whole body of the animal was like that of a fish, and it had under a fish's head another head, and also feet below, similar to those of a man, subjoined to the fish's tail. His voice, too, and language, were articulate and human, and a representation of him is preserved even to this day. This being in the daytime used to converse with men, but took no food at that season, and he gave them an insight into letters and sciences and every kind of art. He taught them to construct houses, to found temples, to compile laws, and explain to them the principles of geometrical knowledge. He made them distinguish the seeds of the earth and showed them how to collect fruits. In short, he instructed them in everything which could tend to soften manners and humanize mankind. From that time, so universal were his instructions, nothing material has been added by way of improvement. When the sun set, it was the custom of this being to plunge again into the sea and abide all night in the deep, for he was amphibious. After this, there appeared other animals like Oan. It is worth noting that the Babylonian history of Berosus has been lost. The above description of Wana was recorded by Greek authors claiming to have found it from the work of Berosus. In the Uruk kings list, only the first 7 people who advised the kings before the flood are mentioned as sages. After the flood, the additional 4 advisors were referred to as scholars. In addition to this list, the Apkallu appear in a number of Mesopotamian religious texts, myths, and poems. The Epic of Gilgamesh, which is considered to be the oldest epic in the world, mentions that the Apkallu were the ones who were responsible for laying the foundations of the city of Uruk. Climb Uruk's wall and walk back and forth. Survey its foundations, examine the brickwork. Were its bricks not fired in an oven? Did the 7 sages not lay its foundations? Additionally, they are also said to have laid the foundations of other cities like Eridu, Ur, Nippur, Kulab, Kesh, Lagash, and Shuruppak. In a temple hymn, the 7 sages are credited with enlarging a temple. The 7 sages have enlarged it for you from the south to the uplands. Though the Apkallu gave their best in advancing the way of life of humans, the gods, however, were dissatisfied with them, so they decided to send a great flood to wipe out all of humanity except for a man and his family. The poem of Era tells how, after the flood, the god Marduk, the son of Enki, banished the Apkallu back to Abzu, the primordial waters from which they emerged. I made those Amanus go down to the Apisu, and I said they were not to come back up. Once the Apkallu are banished, Marduk's phrasing becomes rhetorical. Where are the 7 sages of the Apsu, the pure Puradu fish, who just as their lord Ea, have been endowed with sublime wisdom, who can make my body holy? The appearance of Apkallu reliefs in Assyrian palaces indicates that they also acted as the guardians of places from evil spirits. In addition to that, the plaques with depictions of the Apkallu were used in homes to ward off evil and protect the household from evil magical spells. An ancient Mesopotamian ritual incantation text called Bit Mezeri provides the number of rituals to be performed to protect a house from demonic attacks. At those times, when a person was incredibly ill, he was said to be in possession or under assault of a demon. The second tablet of Bit Mezeri describes the paintings and figurines of the Apkallu that must be made in order to invoke them to ward off the evil spirit from the house. The paintings and other figurines are arranged in the sick person's room, close to his bed. To the 7 figures of Puradu Apkallus, painted with gypsum and black paste that are drawn at the side of the bedroom on the wall. To the 7 figures of the consecrated Cornell, they stand in the gate of the bedroom nearest the sick man at the head of the bed. To the 7 figures of Apkallus or Tamarisk, kneeling, that stand at the foot of the bed. After the ritual is over, the statues are discarded in the river, and the drawings erased from the walls. The house is now believed to be saved or protected from evil spirits. It is believed that the tale of the Apkallu spread everywhere, resulting in the creation of various other similar myths. The tale of the Nephilim is said to be one among them. The number 7 can be seen related to wisdom or knowledge in many cultures all over the world. The following verse is from the book of Proverbs from the Old Testament. Wisdom built her house. She set out its 7 pillars. The 7th and final Apkallu before the flood, Utuabzu, is mentioned as the one who ascended to heaven. Like him, Enoch, the patriarch from the Bible, is also said to have ascended to heaven. He is mentioned as the 7th from Adam. He too lived before the flood. You can watch my video covering the 2nd book of Enoch to learn about Enoch's thrilling adventure through the 10 heavens. The Apkallu, with their divine knowledge, came to our world to help us. If not for them, humanity wouldn't have progressed this quickly, and we wouldn't be this advanced in life. So the next time we use a gadget or a skill, let's remember to thank the Apkallu, shall we?